President Donald Trump is starting to fall behind his forerunner President Barack Obama on one key gauge of his motivation: money markets. From Trump's inauguration day to show, the S&P 500 index has picked up around 7%. That is not as much as 33% of the 25% pickup the S&P posted over a similar skyline after Obama took office in 2009. Going ahead, Trump, who kept running on the motivation of business accommodating arrangements, for example, tax reductions and deregulation, may discover Obama an extreme enemy with regards to securities exchange picks up. Amid Obama's 8 years in office, the S&P 500 returned 235% or 16.4% every year, a standout amongst other exhibitions of any current president, as business sectors recouped from the gore of the monetary emergency and the U.S. economy rose up out of the incomparable recession. By the time he exited office, Obama's securities exchange execution was in accordance with increases posted under President Ronald Reagan in the midst of a checking of expansion, a restoration of development and the market's brisk recuperation from the 1987 crash. President Bill Clinton holds the mantle for the greatest additions of any current president, having held office amid the innovation blast of the 1990s. Despite the fact that correlations of securities exchange execution between administrations don't tell the entire picture, they can allude to an organization's achievements. President Trump was chosen on a motivation that guaranteed human services change, tax breaks and money-related deregulation at an opportune time in his administration. Speculators took his race as motivation to keep offering up stocks from their record highs, on desire that Trump's strategies would reinforce development and corporate benefits. From Election Day in 2016 to exhibit, the S&P 500 has picked up almost 14%, underscoring financial specialist energy for the Trump plan. That is still somewhat in front of Obama's execution, yet a current string of certainty-sapping disappointments has slowed down the alleged Trump knock. Trump's proposed annulment of Obamacare neglected to increase enough help to make it out of the Senate, and it now sits in limbo regardless of Republicans holding the White House, Senate and House of Representatives. Expense change, the enormous carrot for worldwide speculators, is as yet being dealt with. However, Trump and his professional business bureau, for example, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and previous Goldman Sachs President Gary Cohn, had guaranteed unmistakable enactment at this point. This week may have been conclusive for Trump's plan and the shared trading system role that he has boasted about on Twitter so regularly. Trump's reaction to the assault a weekend ago in Charlottesville, Virginia was so dangerous two of his much built-up business committees immediately disbanded, and one on foundation was never at any point shaped. All at once, America's CEO president lost the capacity to gather America's most prominent business minds at the White House for photograph openings that may rouse trust in his business-first plan. He likewise distanced administrators supervising an aggregate trillions of dollars in securities exchanges team and a large number of specialists around the United States, capable partners when offering a driven slate of enactment. Jamie Dimon, head of J.P. Morgan, said all that needed to be said after the aftermath. "I firmly can't help contradicting President Trump's response to the occasions that occurred in Charlottesville in the course of recent days," Dimon told his representatives in a letter that was discharged to people in general. "Useful financial and administrative arrangements are insufficient and won't make any difference in the event that we don't address the divisions in our nation. It is a pioneer's part, in business or government, to unite individuals, not destroy them." This week, surveys like Rasmussen that have already skewed towards Trump kept on throwing an unequivocally negative audit on his execution. As of Friday, Rasmussen demonstrated Trump's endorsement list at -22%, down from the positive figures recorded at an opportune time in his administration when issues like medicinal services and assessment change had more energy. This shouldn't imply that all information is souring on Trump. The across-the-nation joblessness rate is 4.3% and month-to-month work picks-up keep on trending at around 200,000. Measures of shopper and business certainty keep on testing new decade highs. Total national output keeps on developing, though at a sub-2.5% rate. Rising swelling has enabled the Federal Reserve to start reliably climbing loan fees, an aid to the monetary part. This information underscores the steady canvas that Trump is working with as he tries to resuscitate his motivation. There are squeezing monetary issues in the nation, as J.P. Morgan's Dimon noted, yet there aren't seething budgetary flames, for example, emergencies to get in Trump's direction. In that sense, maybe examinations between the Trump and Obama securities exchanges will demonstrate a reasonable gauge of their achievements. Obama was chosen and took office amid the most exceedingly terrible worldwide monetary frenzy since the Great Depression. Had recuperation measures supervised by Obama, his bureau, and the Federal Reserve turned out to be inadequate at that point, markets would not have entered a relentless move from their March 2009 lows. These endeavors required steady correspondence with partners far and wide, notwithstanding business pioneers. One can just envision how markets would have reacted if brokers like Jamie Dimon had gone out close to the March base with their arms not yet decided. Securities exchange examinations amongst Obama and Trump will just get harder, yet they may indicate truth. Right now in 2009, Obama's central undertaking of recuperation from emergency was well in progress, while Trump's plan gives off an impression of being slowed down. It's nothing unexpected. The market's 1.5% drop since Wednesday is among the greatest decays of the Trump administration.